All right, let's roll the puppy. 5, 4, 3.
It's episode 303, and we've got plugins for admin menu items, WordPress file downloads, shortcodes within Excerpts, two-factor authentication, and an easy way to edit WooCommerce templates. It's all coming up next on WordPress Plugins A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 30,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join John Overall and Marcus Couch for this weekly unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress Plugins A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Fighting through the Mercury retrograde and pushing through from the sunny shores of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, I'm John Overall.
And from Laguna Beach, California, I'm Marcus Couch.
And we have the usual great show for you here today, but don't forget right off the top, you can get all the show notes for the plugins and everything we do over at WPPluginsAtoZ.com.
That's right. And what a cool site it is. I know that it's getting better with a lot of help from the outside, and we do appreciate that. Also, remember, you can shoot us a review of this show over on Stitcher Radio. We do appreciate all your iTunes reviews as well, and hopefully we can feature some of those very soon. And also remember that you can follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsAtoZ. Absolutely.
And as usual, a little bit of self-promotion here. These days here, we're still promoting the WPPluginsAtoZ.com jobs board, where we don't really have a whole lot of professionals there, but we're hoping that this picks up in the coming months and it becomes a good, viable jobs board for everyone out there. Other than that, not a lot in this section for me.
Yeah, not a lot either. I did just finish up over the weekend my personal homepage again. So go over to marcuscouch.com and check that out. Did a lot of work to it. It's actually taken me about 2 weeks. Still finishing some of the secondary pages, but definitely I think I made it as good as any other personal homepage I've ever seen. So check it out, marcuscouch.com.
All right, and this is the point here where we usually like to thank our donors to the show. This week here we have no one coming in over $50, but we would like to say thank you to all of those of you who come in under $50. You know who you are. And again, thank you to those that are donating through the Patreon program. So if you're using that, thank you very much. And if you'd like to be a Patreon, you can go over to patreon.com/WPPluginsA2Z.
That's right. We do appreciate all the help from our supporters. It helps with great things like transcriptions for the show, for the people that actually can't listen but still want to use WordPress, still use plugins, but might be hearing impaired. So we do offer that, and also it does help with hosting and the audio quality of the show and things like that. So we do appreciate everybody's support. And if you could go to patreon.com/WPPluginsAtoZ and contribute on a monthly basis, we would greatly appreciate that.
And this week here, we got one little piece of news, nothing major I noticed in the WordPress world, but there is some really great webinars coming up from Blogaid. Mayanne over there puts out these really great free webinars, and she's got one coming up for those of you that would like to see how to do HTTPS conversion for do-it-yourself site owners. The webinar is on April 21st, and it's free registration off her website, and there's a link in the show notes to go to and check it out. And I've watched a couple of her webinars. She does a pretty good job.
Nice. That's cool. All right. Well, I think it's time to roll into the main course.
Off we go into the meat and potatoes then. Easy show this week. All right, the first plugin I have this week is one that I came across due to a client and then asking me for some help and support with it. It's called WP File Download. It's done by a company called Joom United, and I think they kind of specialized in Joomla plugins, but looks like they've expanded into WordPress plugins. And this one here is a pretty nice file download management plugin. One of the big features that I was called in to help with was integrating it with Google Drive. And the nice thing about this plugin and how it works with Google Drive, and it is a premium plugin to let you know, at $29 to $59. The integration to Google Drive, once you get that hooked up, set up the integration through your Google app platform and everything, then what you can do is through the back end of WordPress, you can create directories and upload files that are then automatically synced to your Google Drive. And you can go both ways. Once you have it fully working and functioning, you can add files at your Google Drive level and they get automatically synced to your website. And how this one client was using it is they needed to get contracts and other bits and information to specific clients and keep them in separate folders and only allow the clients into those folders with specialized pages. And they used the G Drive to do that because it was easier from their computers to just drop them in Google Drive and have them synced to the website for the clients instead of having to share out the link for G Drive all the time.
Yeah.
So it works fairly smooth. Once you get it worked and set up, it does take some work and effort to set it up, and I found it to be a pretty decent plugin all in all. Anyway, check it out. It's called WP File Download from JoomUnited.com, and I gave it a 4-dragon rating.
Beautiful. That's a great plugin. That's really nice. What kind of drawbacks did you find to give that a 4 instead of a 5?
The hassle in setting it up.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got something that I typically probably wouldn't highlight as a featured plugin, except I know this audience. And I know that you are plugin crazy if you're listening to this show. You love plugins just as much as John and I do. So this plugin is called Show Plugin Menu Items on Activation. John, how many times have you installed a plugin and then went, all right, where is it? You got to go do a hunt.
Probably about
right?
80 to 90% of the time.
Well, when you do this, instead of having to hunt around the admin sidebar trying to find new menu items where your plugin is, this plugin actually shows and highlights the different menu items on activation. So you never have to search around again. It's got just kind of a highlight exactly where and pointed to where this goes. So if 1, 2, 3, 4 menu items are added, it actually shows you what menu items get added the second that you activate the plugin.
Sweet.
No more hunting around, no more trying to find out where the settings are, if there even are any. And this one will show you exactly what's up right when you install the plugin. It's pretty cool. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Very nice. Yeah, that's come in real handy because, almost every plugin I add, it's like, where's the menu? If they're ones I'm familiar with, I know where to look, but...
Yeah, it's tough sometimes. And sometimes they hide it in settings or tools or so. Sometimes they'll create their own menus. I'm preaching to the choir here on this one. But,
absolutely.
This is a great plugin.
Okay, the next one I've got up here is for two-factor authentication. I'm in process right now of researching two-factor authentication plugins to find one for a client so that we can set up two-factor authentication, and we're looking for easy ways to do it. And at the moment, I'm not really finding a lot of easy ways, but I'm finding some pretty decent plugins along the way. The first one I've got here is Wrap ID Secure Login. And this one here is relatively new. And they're touting it as a replacement for Clef, since Clef is being disabled come June of 2017. And you'll need, if you use Clef, you're going to have to replace it. This one here looks like it might be a halfway decent replacement for Clef. It works in a similar manner to Clef in that after you get it installed on your site and downloaded, you have to download an app to your phone, and then you need to create a Rapid ID account, but the process looks to be pretty painless. I haven't done it yet, but there's currently a couple issues around it. If you lose or change phones, then you have to go through a process to get it disabled and set up again. Their pricing, they don't have any pricing on their website beyond the initial free license they're giving out, but they say, send them an email for that. And they do offer a premium version of the plugin. So anyway, it looks to be pretty decent. So check it out, Wrap ID Secure Login for two-factor authentication, and I gave it a 4-dragon rating.
Good. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to miss Clef. That was my That was my Siskel and Ebert moment when I got my own quote from my review of Clef on the actual artwork in the repository.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
Yeah,
So.
It looks like they're merging with another company.
Yeah, I know. It stinks. And you know how that goes. It'll never be the same.
No.
Never. All right, the next plugin is something that I actually needed and used for my new homepage. And this is called Edit WooCommerce Templates. I am using a theme and a child theme that is not out of the box WooCommerce compatible. So I needed to create a few tweaks to do some WooCommerce templates. And I didn't feel like doing any PHP or any of the other stuff that goes along with that. I wanted a nice, easy way to create my own template files and have them come up relatively simply. I've only got a couple of different products that I'm putting onto the page, so I just wanted to make it short and sweet. And this plugin called Edit WooCommerce Templates allowed me to do that. So I could take a stock WooCommerce template and change it around, reset it, do all that I needed to get the proper values and things like that within the page. And it was really, really easy. And this template is something that I highly recommend if you need to just quickly add something into your theme that will allow you to do WooCommerce a little simpler. It allows you to do editing, saving, resetting, and finding different WooCommerce templates that you can modify and add to your theme. I rated it a 4 out of 5.
Very sweet. Always like it when you can edit those WooCommerce templates in an easier manner than what's normally required.
Yeah.
All right, well, the final one I've got here today is called TwoFactor Authentication. I know, not very unique. But what they've done here, this one is created by the guys at Updraft. And it's a pretty decent two-factor authentication. It's one I'm going to dig in much deeper to because it offers more than just using a device like your phone or a tablet for doing the authentication. You can use email, TOTP protocols, HOTP protocols. It also sets up 3 emergency one-time use passwords that you can write down and hang on to in case you lose a device or something. You need to get in there and deactivate a device. It also will integrate into I just brain fried. It'll integrate into the add-ons that are available for Google Chrome, such as Authenticator, SAS Pass, and GAuth Authenticator, which are available for Chrome. So you can use a browser to create the one-time use codes for it instead of having to use your phone or some other device. So it has a lot more options to it than the previous one I looked at. And this one I'll be digging into deeper, and of course, coming up in shows, I'll have even more of these plugins along the way. So anyway, check out two-factor authentication from Updraft. It looks to be a pretty decent plugin, and I gave it a 4-dragon rating.
Good deal. I like that. All right, John, I'm going to close it out here with a lazy plugin. As I was working on my own homepage, I tried to take advantage of this other plugin that I like called Shortcodes Anywhere or Everywhere. I forget which one it is. And the problem is it was not actually giving me shortcodes everywhere because my excerpts did not allow me to use a shortcode. Why would you want to do that? Maybe I want to insert something every time in the excerpts that is a revolving advertisement or maybe a link or something like that to click on. And those excerpts, by the way, are part of a podcast feed or things like that.
Absolutely.
So I found this plugin. It's called Add Shortcodes to Widgets and Excerpts, and it does exactly what it says. It allows you to add a shortcode to any widget area, any excerpt. Super easy, super lazy, and I gave it a perfect 5 out of 5.
Sweet. Just got to like those simple plugins that just work and do what you need to do without having to do any other tweaks to it.
Yep, and it didn't even find it. It created its own menu, so
Nice.
no menu required. One function.
Well, I covered up in this episode the WP file download, which I gave a 4 to, Wrap ID secure login, which I gave a 4 to, and then two-factor authentication, which I gave a 4 to.
And I talked about show plugin menu items on activation, gets a 4 out of 5. Edit WooCommerce templates, another 4 out of 5. And we just talked about add shortcodes to widgets and excerpts. That gets a perfect 5 out of 5.
Excellent. Now, I'll wrap it up. I know the show's a little shorter than usual, but it's been been light on the content from you listeners out there. So we're asking you to go into the website, stop in there, and give us some feedback. You can do it via leaving us a comment on SpeakPipe, leave us some feedback at iTunes or Stitcher, or even on the YouTube channel we have where we're putting the screencasts up. Leave us comments anywhere. Send us a contact from the email. Give us feedback on what's happening. Since it's been so light on contact from everyone the last couple of weeks, we must be doing something wrong. So it's time for you guys to step up and tell us what's happening. I know that it's been rough coming from me. You heard about my issues here several episodes back, but that's starting to smooth out now that my transition has happened. And just step it up, folks. Time to step it up, do something to help this show get moving along its way. We can only do so much without feedback.
That's right. And I know people love the show. I know people really like it. It's been listed on a lot of the top lists for WordPress podcasts. We're definitely rated very highly within iTunes around the world. Yep. And, I don't know if it's been Easter break, spring break, any of those things that have hindered maybe a typical listener response, but we miss you guys. So let us know. Let us know what's happening out there. Let us know what's going on, what you're looking for, what kind of plugin problems you're having. John and I are here to solve those for you.
Yeah, we're still number 1 in Stitcher, and also I know the downloads are still happening for the show. The downloads haven't lightened up, so people are downloading, and I assume if you download and you're listening to it, otherwise you're just taking up space in your iPhone.
Yeah. So help us out. Participate. We're here for you. John and I do this show religiously every single week, and look forward to your feedback.
Absolutely. All right. Well, to wrap it up, promotions this week, I don't really have any promotions except to reiterate again, go check out Blogaid and her free webinars at blogaid.net.
No real promotions from me, but stop on by marcuscouch.com and let me know how you like the new site design.
Yeah, well, we'll take a quick look at it and grab it into the screencast here just for fun.
Oh, nice.
All
big
right.
pictures of me all over the place.
Big picture. Yeah, that's a big picture of you. Absolutely. Nice big picture. Yeah, nice job. Looks good.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's a vast improvement over what your site used to look like.
Tell me about it. I've had the same stock theme that was no longer supported in Theme Forest for the last 2 years. Yeah. And broken content, broken menus, all kinds of stuff like that. So I've got a lot going on now that I'm going to be putting in there. Yeah. And I'm still, the secondary pages I'm still working on. But for the most part, I kind of want to just highlight the stuff that I do. And John, believe it or not, I actually built this site so that I could blog and post from my phone.
Sweet. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps it up. Don't forget the usual reminders. Stop in at the iTunes store, give us a review. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you're listening to us on Stitcher Radio, hit that little thumbs up button in the corner, or stop in on their website and leave us a review there on a per-show basis.
That's right. And how can they contact us, John?
They can reach me on my website at johnoverall.com or send an email direct to john@wppro.ca.
You can find me at my website, marcuscouch.com, on Twitter at marcuscouch. And hey, follow me on Instagram, too. What the heck? Marcus Couch.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.